Hello, students. My name is Ritika Chatterjee, and today I will be presenting my second lecture on marketing management. And now I'll be sharing my presentation. First, I'll just show you the presentation. So, I hope the PPT is visible to all of you. In your marketing management for your course, that is the course code is BBA 3302. We will be teaching, well, I will be teaching you module 2, where we'll be covering all these points, which starts from, we'll actually study about what is product, what is branding, how do product behave in the market, what is the classification of the products, what are the product level hierarchy. It's a new thing, I believe you must have read it first time. Product level hierarchy, that there is some hierarchy also in the product, like we buy a packet of chips or we buy a packet of chocolate. So in which hierarchy does it come? So we will understand what all these things are, then we'll understand what are the classifications of products or what are the types of products. We'll know about what is product mix, product line, product life cycle. Basically these are the core concepts of marketing management which we'll be studying. Because in marketing, when we talk about marketing and sales, it works like heart and brain. Both of the things are like equivalent to an heart and your brain. So when you are selling a product or when you are selling a service, you should be knowing about what kind of product you are catering to, what is the service you are catering to, what is the price of the product, what who are the competitors of your of the product which you are selling, what all qualities do you have in your product. So there are some buying points in every item, whether be it a service, whether be it a product. There will always be certain amount of buying point which will attract your client, your customers towards you. So you as a marketer needs to understand very properly that you have to pitch those buying points so that your customer is attached to you, which is the baseline of marketing when I talk about selling and when I talk about creating a relationship in the market. Then we'll study about product positioning. What is a brand? What are the concept challenges, brand equity, brand repositioning? I'll just give you an example. Audi is a brand, BMW is a brand, Nike brand. So what is this? What image do you get? You get a what belief do you get when you see Titan as a brand? Oh, it's a very sophisticated brand, it's a classy brand. What kind of feeling do you get when you see Scorpio or when you see Tata Safari? Those are like, or when you see that Mountain Dew ad, Dar ke aage jeet hai. So what all feelings do you get when you see that brand? That it is something which is very thick, hard, very rugged in nature. So we'll study about what kind of brand feelings does a person get and how does a individual customer is attached to a brand, what all things a marketer is doing so that they can build a better brand image in the minds of the customer, and how today's in today's time this brand positioning is changing, how you are pitching your brand in front of your customers. Nirma washing powder has been a brand that has been working on from years to years, because it is a brand which has always targeted a pocket of the person. Whenever you go and buy a washing powder, Nirma, whenever you go and want to buy a washing powder, something which will fit into your pocket is your washing powder, Nirma. So their image is certainly fixed in a manner that they will always target the clients, the customers who are budget wise limited, who want something which will fix which will fit into their monthly income, and when they don't want to spend too much amount on all these things, and they tend to save money up after certain kind of investments, maybe in the monthly grocery items, food items, whatever amount of money they spend on all these basic necessities, and then they aim to save certain amount of money for their own good and benefit. So we'll study about all these things. So first of all, I'll just start with the next slide where we'll go about to understand new product development and product life cycle strategies. Now, new product development, the word says you are developing a new product. Fine. So when you develop a new product, you need to understand how this product will be developed. Okay, it is a new product. Who will be the target customers? What will be the price of the product? Who will be the competitors of your product? And what core benefit will you give from your product? So we'll understand all these things, and then we'll study about the life cycle strategy. That product also have a life cycle. Like we as an individual have a life cycle. We are born, we're at a one point of time we are at an age of infant, then we come to child, then we grow to a teenager, then from teenager we grow to adult, and then from adult we grow to probably old aged people, and then we die. So this is a life cycle of a human being. Similarly, a product does also has a life cycle, which we'll study in this presentation. So causes of new product failures. First, you'll understand what kind of failures does it have. This is not necessary to be very related to a new product. Also, this can be a possibility that an existing product can also be failed. So somehow the factors which are there are similar. It is not because that it is a new product that is why it has failed. Maybe an existing product which was working in the market that has also failed because of certain kind of new competitive actions. We'll study the first point, that is the overestimation of market size. It's I would relate you with a very simple example, that when you cook something at your home and there are people coming over for a dinner at your place, and you have an estimate of probably 8 to 10 people that you need to cook, or your mom is cooking or somebody is cooking. So now from 8 to 10 you go to 20 to 25 and to 30, and you cook huge amount of platter dishes, one beautiful dish which is in huge amount. So somehow the quality gets affected, or somehow the taste gets affected, or the food will end up wasting because you had planned for 10 and you cook for 20. It's on a larger side. So when it is on a larger side, probably you will eat it the next day. After that, I won't think that you will eat it and the food gets wasted, or you'll give it to somebody. So when you go about overestimation of market size, that means that you need to know who is your market and what is the coverage area. Because once you know what is your coverage areas, then only you can know who will be the customers in that particular area. Until and unless your market size is clear, you cannot get a proper estimate for your customers. And it is very necessary that while you are developing a new product, you should have a proper sheet, I would say a proper clear picture of, okay, we need to go to that X market. X market will have approximately 100 to 150 customers, and to target those 100 and 150 customers, we have this particular strategy. So when these chain dots are connected, only then you have a correct estimation of your market, and only then you will produce that much amount of product. Because you overestimate your market and you produce more, as a result it goes up to the inventory, and then your product, when it is not accepted in the market, it is lying in the inventory stock, nobody's taking it, and your inventory level is growing up. So these all things are very, very minute details which a marketer needs to understand, that yes, they should have a very clear picture. Only then the production department will understand that no, we have to produce goods for 150 customers. We have been asked that there are 150 customers. Okay, we'll produce approximately 200 to 250, just to keep it at a little higher side. Not that we're producing 500, 800, 1000 products, and then people have not accepted the product, and finally the product goes to inventory and it is getting wasted. So that is your overestimation of market size, which is one of the problems. Product design problems. You design it, you have faulty, damaged designs, or the design didn't was not appropriate, or the design didn't attract the customers. So there are certain problems with the designing also. Product incorrectly positioned, priced, or advertised. Now this is one of the most important cause which happens with everybody, and it is not that you can get you can eliminate this point, but yes, you can reduce it. Your positioning, if in your first module you'll study about your segment targeting and positioning. So when you understand that positioning part, you need to know who are you positioning. I cannot uh, position probably a smartphone to a person who is above 50, 55, or 60 years, maybe 65 years old. A person who is old, who is aged, and who is not so much digitally tech savvy, I cannot position the product, a hi-fi technological mobile which rotates like this and which comes out, the flap is coming out and it has new features, it has a webcam, it has a webcam is popping out, and then you are using your this all kind of chat platforms and Insta and Facebook. Even even I've tried to explain my mother lately. Now she has understood how Facebook works or how Instagram works. So there are things where people don't get to that position, or people don't understand the product. So that is the point when you need to understand that your positioning part is to be correct and you don't fail in that positioning. So when you are positioning a product, you should keep in mind that whether the concerned person will be actually using the product or not. If the person is not meant for that product, if the person is not able to understand that product, then our positioning will certainly go wrong about it. Price and advertisement is a matter of concern because you need to know what your customers, what your competitors have given the price, or what is the cost of production while you were producing the good. Until unless you're not clear, you're producing a good for 10 rupees and you're selling at probably 6 or 5, that is wrong, you're at loss. Or if you're producing a good at rupees 10 and you're selling at 20 and your competitor is selling at 50, why would a customer come to you when you're selling it at 20 and somebody, the same product is being sold at 15 rupees? So all these things are to be taken care. Advertisement is also very important. The platforms like the radio broadcast or the billboards or the banners or TV ads, the platform should be very appropriate, should be reachable to your customers. Only then you can create a good advertisement strategy for your product. Cost of product development, very important. If you are developing a product which takes rupees 10, don't ever try to sell it at less than cost of production. You will be at your loss. You can sell it at par, but probably you should try to sell it at rupees 11 or rupees 12. I'm just giving you a small figure. This can go into thousands and lakhs. So cost of product development means that when you are producing a product, the cost of developing that product is to be justified with the cost of selling it also. Okay, so when your product development cost is justified with your selling cost, then only you can earn certain amount of revenue and profit for your company. Competitive actions, very simple. You should be very clear with what your competitors are doing, and you should be also very have a very nice good strategy about how your competitors work. To create successful new products, the company must understand its customers, market, and competitors, develop products that deliver superior value to your customers. See, there is one very important concept which probably you will understand when you go and start working, that if you as a customer, if you go to the market, if you go to buy a shirt or a pant, you see value, you see the type of the cloth which the seller is, which the garment store has having, you see the price. So when you have a value product, when your value and when your money is justified, then only you can attract a customer towards your product. So this is very important in marketing, to understand that any marketer should deliver a valuable product to its customers. Now, these are the steps. We'll go one by one: idea generation and screening, concept development and testing, market strategy, business analysis, product development, test marketing, and commercialization. First is the new product development. There will be an idea. You'll click an idea. I think there should be a bulb here in this presentation that will show that there is an idea. Okay, I am planning that I am good at baking or I am good at cooking. So I am getting a new idea that now I should try something, delivering some kind of bakery products to home, or taking some online orders, or developing some new kind of product which has this bakery products. Like, if for example, um, I am good at making. What should I say? I'm good at making biscuits. Okay, fine. Just an example. I'm good at making chocolate biscuits. Now, as an idea, I generated. Why should not I make a biscuits and then sell it in the market and then try to reach out my customers? And if I am able to gain money from it and revenue, then I'm earning profit for myself. So idea can be out of anything. Something where which should be very creative, something which is something unique and which has probably not been there in the market. So new product development, the first process take is that idea generation. Who, from where can you get ideas? Now there are n number of sources. It is not only these sources which I've written here: internal sources, customers, competitors, distributors, suppliers. There are n number of sources from where you can get ideas for your new product development. The only fact that you need to understand is that the product should deliver, should cater to the value, to the need of the customer. Do not invent a product which is not useful for the customers. You will end up in being loss. So the next comes the new product development process. That is idea screening. Generally, whenever we go for an interview process, we give an application and then that application gets screened. Are we actually eligible for the position or not? So similarly, when a new product idea is generated, we'll screen the idea. Process to spot the good ideas and drop the poor ones. Criteria: market size, product size, development time, cost, manufacturing cost, and rate of return. Now, these criteria say that whenever you are coming up with an idea, now I have come up with an idea that I want to make chocolate biscuits and I want to probably either tie up with some online bakery stores or probably start my own online channel as well as an offline channel and then deliver the biscuits to home to home. Now this is an idea. Now there will be flaws, and naturally there will be a number of flaws in this idea. So first of all, I will understand what is my market size. If I am taking Lucknow as my market size, I need to understand Lucknow is huge. Till where can I am I able to deliver? ऐसा ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैंने प्रोडक्ट ले लिया, मैंने प्रोडक्ट बनाना शुरू कर दिया, I have started my online channel and I fail to deliver, and I fail to deliver to some point of place where X customer has placed an order because of any n reason, X reason, or I should say. So market size means that you should be clear with your market size. If I am planning to sell my product in Lucknow market, where area, which areas will I target, and at which areas will I be able to sell my product? I should not lag behind that I have estimated a size and I do not reach to that size. That is a wrong estimation of your market. Then your product price. If I'm planning to develop a chocolate biscuit, I cannot sell it at rupees 500 a box, which will have at least 10 to 15 biscuits. Nobody will buy it, no matter how tasty it is, no matter how less calorie and fatless and all those XYZ things which are health conscious people understand. Nobody will buy it because every person now wants to know that value for money is very important. So your product price should be reasonable. Understand your cost of developing the product, and then you set a price. Understand what how much did you spend in your raw material, how much did you spend in your packaging, how much did you spend in your logistics part, how much did you spend in manpower, how much did you spend in this machinery, how much spend on electricity, how much money was spent in acquiring any X factor that is related to your product. So whatever cost goes from your own pocket, then only set your price. After that, only set your price for the product so that you can justify whatever amount has been set by your own, so has been taken by your own pocket, is been justified by the product price, which is very important to be understood, to be taken care of. Development time and cost, very simple. You should have a reasonable time and development time and reasonable cost to develop that particular product. Manufacturing cost and rate of return. See, the manufacturing cost is again your production cost, which is to be considered. Return is very important. If I am planning to develop chocolate biscuits and to make chocolate biscuits and deliver it to house, or to have a store of my own self and then sell there, what will be my rate of return? Am I delivering value? Am I getting profit? Am I getting revenue? Am I leading in the market? Are people knowing me? There are any n number of rate of returns from which you will understand that yes. Sorry, the slide went off. There are n number of things from where you will understand that yes, your product has given you good rate of return. So that is called as rate of return. Now, new product development process, concept development and testing. Develop product ideas into alternative product concept. Everything should have alternatives. Don't come up with a plan A only and sit with plan A. No, come up with plan B also, come up with plan C also. Select the best plan which is suitable for you. It is always recommended to every marketer that you should have at least 2 to 3 plans that work for your own product. Do not get into the things that okay, I have a plan A and this will only work. No, there is no guarantee that your only plan A will work. So you should have plan B, plan C as an alternatives to your product. Concept testing. Test the product concept with group of target customers. I believe this can you can also name it as a there is a word in research called as pilot testing. Take a group of customers, or if you don't, if you do, if there are people who there are probably not people that I would say there are some entrepreneurs also who tried it with their family members only. Okay, they'll select the 10 or 15 or 20 family members from different places, and they'll try to test their product. They test the product which they have created with their own family members. Then they'll understand that whether these people are liking it or not. Or if you don't go or don't want to go with your family members, you select your own locality and you sell your product there. So if your own locality is understanding your product, they're understanding what kind of feature is your product having, then you can have an idea of what others will have. It is basically a point where you need to know that if I'm developing a product, I will select a few number of people from a group of many, and from them I'll test my product and I'll understand whether the people are able to know my product, are they able to use the product, and then we'll select the best one. Then your market strategy statement formulation. Part 1, overall target market, plan, product positioning, sales and profit goals, market share. See, these are all revenue point of things which you need to understand, which you need to be very clear that whenever you try to develop a product, you need to be very systematic about it. Don't go with, okay, I'm making biscuits and I'll sell it at X place. No, it doesn't go like that. You need to understand, you need to clarify, you need to sit, okay, if I'm hiring two people who will be making biscuits for my on who will to whom I'll be guiding, and then they will be making, so what amount of profit will be shared, how will be the sales strategy be catered to, what will be the positioning part, how will I target my own customers, how will I target a particular market. There are many things that are to be understood. So first part says that overall target market, planned product positioning, sales and profit goals, market share. Part 2 says short term products plan, price, distribution, marketing, budget. Now the part 2 says that when you plan a product, now how will be the distribution part take place? What will be the budget? You should have some budget now whenever you are trying to develop a product, or whenever you're trying to invent something new, you'll have some kind of budget. You cannot go with a vague amount and okay, I'll do it in 100 rupees, no, or I'll do it in 5,000 rupees, or I have 10,000 rupees, I'll develop a new product. No, it doesn't go like that. You need to sit and you'll need to bifurcate where the amount will go, how much amount will be required in the raw material, how much amount will be required in the logistics, how much amount will be required in the distribution, how much amount will be required in maintaining that product, how much money will be required in if I want to do some kind of branding promotions, some kind of advertisements. So what amount, so if I need to give an ad on a newspaper, I need to be clear that how much money will be there at just giving a corner ad on a paper, or I want a big uh, uh, the big size page ad. So how much money do I have to spend? All these things are very important, that comes into your budget. Part 3 says sales, profit, marketing, mix strategy, everything on a longer term. If your product is successful, what will be your future plan? How will you go about it? How will you manage your sales? How will you manage your profit goals? How will you manage the product which you are selling? What all new things can you do in your product? So that is your longer term goals. Step 5 says that new product development process will have business analysis and product development. Business analysis. Review of product sales, cost, and profit predictions to see if they meet company's objective. If no, eliminate the product concept. If yes, move to product development. See, whenever you try to develop a product, you have to be very clear with your company's vision, mission, goals, targets, ethics, principles on which the company's pillars stand. If you are not a part of company, if you're an entrepreneur, then your own ethics should you have some certain kind of ethics, you should have certain kind of moral values. So whenever, if you are working as an individual, if you're working as an entrepreneur, then you should also know that what is your own ethics, and does your product matches your own ethics which you abide by, or if your product concept has come out and does it matches with the company's project, the company's vision, mission, and the company's uh, objectives. So all these things are to be taken care, and if it matches, you go about with the product concept, and if it doesn't matches, you eliminate it. Take. So the seventh step says test marketing. This was the sixth step, and actually fifth and sixth step are two very small process but an integral process. Fifth says business analysis. You are reviewing all the business related aspects, that cost, profit, your projections, your revenue, your market share, your selling strategy. So all these things are a part of your business analysis. Product development says that if your product concept justifies your company's own vision, mission, beliefs, ethics, moral, you go about with the product development. And if it doesn't matches the company's ethics, moral values, and your the objectives which the company has set, you don't go about with the product development stage, and you eliminate that product concept. Now, the seventh step says test marketing. Standard test market, controlled test market, stimulated test market. There are three kinds of test market. Standard test market says full marketing campaign in small number of representative cities. It is a standardized process. You are developing a completely full marketing campaign, but you are restricted to certain kind of cities. Maybe Bombay, Delhi, Pune, and Lucknow. Oh, maybe. Or maybe Lucknow, Kanpur, or Gorakhpur. So you are restricting yourself to certain kind of cities, but your marketing plan, your strategies, your branding, your promotions, your advertisements, everything is at a full level. Nothing has been cut short. But where you will represent it, that has been restricted to certain kind of certain number. Controlled test market. A few stores that have agreed to carry new products for free. There are people actually that works also. I have seen. I'll give my own example. If you know about it, Easy Day or Spencer's, these stores are very have you. It's a supermarket store. You'll get everything. So once they were promoting a body wash which had different variants. Small container, 30 rupees was the bottle cost of the bottle. Probably it will be 100 ml or 150 ml, just a small, not too big, not too small, a medium size bottle. And it was 30 or 40 rupees, some this amount. But no, they were they had kept it on the shelf, and they were promoting it. Actually, some person would have come there and just asked them to sell it to their customers, so they were selling it for free as a trial, as a demo. The cost was written there, but they had given for free. And believe me, though that body wash was so actually, they had many variants. They had one body wash, they had one moisturizer, they had one cream, they had one more hair oil. So they were selling this for free as a trial purpose. And believe me, the product was so useful that the next time I went, I paid and I bought the product. So, please, there are times when a new product is being catered as a free trial demo, and when it works, you develop it, you sell it in the market, and you take money from it. So that is called as control test market. Stimulated test market, test in a stimulated shopping environment to a sample of consumers. That is equivalent to pilot testing. You will have a stimulated environment. You will select that among that stimulated environment, you will select your sample consumers. Simulated means something, a dummy, a prototype. Okay, when you work in a prototype environment and you select a sample, an n number of consumers who will be as your sample, and then you will test your product whether it is actually working or not. This basically happens in organizations. Fine. So this was your product, new product development. Now, very important point in your module 2, product life cycle. This graph is very important. Do not forget it. Sit with a copy in front of yourself and draw this graph also. I told you that an individual human being has a has a human life cycle that goes with birth, infant, then your child, then your teenager, then you come to adolescence, then you come to adult, then you come to old, and then you die. So a product life cycle starts with in an introduction stage, goes to the growth, comes to a maturity, and then declines. So this is a life cycle for a product. Any product in the market will go through this life cycle. Mm, Introduction stage. This is the baby stage of the product. It has just introduced in the market. It is new to the market. People will understand the product. People will get to know to the product. Sales are very low because it is a new product. High cost per customers. Generally, the cost is not too high also, but not too low also, but it is somewhat at a higher side. Profits are negative because it is a new product. You cannot expect huge amount of profit because sales is slow. It is your sales is on a lower part, so your profits will be negative. Marketing objective, the main important thing is to create the awareness about the product and your objective of the product. Then you offer a basic product. You use a distribution strategy, selective distribution. You don't go to all the places. You'll select certain stores, you'll select certain people, and then you'll distribute the product. Advertising, you'll build a good advertising campaign so that people are aware of your products. Then is the growth stage. So slowly and gradually you have come from an introduction to a growth stage. Your sales is increasing, your cost is also increasing, your profit is also increasing. Your objective comes out to be maximizing your market share. In the previous stage, in the introduction stage, you were creating awareness as your marketing objective. Now in your marketing objective, it will come to maximizing market share. Product, you offer product extensions, warranty, guarantee, loyalty, just to build more stronger relationship with your customers. Cashbacks, 1+1 free, free sales, home service. All these things are the points which are the buying points for your customers. Then price to penetrate market. You dig deeper into the market and you reduce the cost of the price. Distribution, you build an intensive distribution. You are catering to all the markets in your area and you build a good advertising plan. Maturity, you are at peak. You are at a position that you have crossed your introduction, you have caused your growth, and you have reached to this position. Neither this nor this. You reach to us actually a saturation position. Sales is high, cost is low for each customers, profits are high. Your max profit is also high, but your objective is that you need to now defend your market share. Since you have reached to a position where you're at a higher stage, then that point of time you need to defend your share, you need to defend your product, you need to defend your service. Product, diversify brands and models. Just to maintain this image in your brand, you will get into more diversification. These experiments are not there in introduction and growth because you're just at a growing stage. You are growing. You cannot experiment with a product that no, red color is not good, we'll develop it into a blue color. No, When you reach at a position that you have achieved good amount of sales at red color of a product, then you divert plan, and then you come up with variants for blue, green, whatever be the color for the product. Price to match best the competitors, very easy. Build more intensive distribution. Advertising stresses on brand differences and benefits. Tide, your Surf Excel. So these your Head and Shoulders, they'll do a comparison factor to make your people explain that no, we are the only brand in the market who have this kind of quality in our product. So then they come to comparing their product with other products in terms of advertisements. So at this point of stage, you are at a higher level. Your sales are high, your profits are high. Your objective is to maintain that profitability, is to maintain that image of your product, your brand in the market, as well as defend your share also. And product diversify brands and models. Price to match the best competitors. Distribution, you build much more intensive distribution. Advertising, you stress on brand difference and benefits. So this was all about PLC, and the next part will continue in our next lecture. Thank you so much.